What's up, everyone? This is Press X to Start podcast, season 5, episode 19. We at Press X seek to transform the video game media landscape through an underserved and protected point of view. Restorative justice for the underrepresented programs, developers, and consumers. I am your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices. Yes, I brought it back after just a week of it being gone because I can make educated, sexy bad choices. AKA, did you know? If you missed it for whatever reason, I'm a dad now, and I've been doing dad things and finding dad jokes. But this week, I will not have a dad joke.
Oh, you need to have a dad joke next time. Come on, my guy.
Are you gonna get your standard issue New Balance?
They're the reason I don't. They're the reason I don't talk in the group chat because it's just full of dad jokes. So I'm gonna need you to not do that.
There are too many dads in the group chat. Too many fathers.
You know what? I'm getting a lot of mixed messaging, and all I heard is that I need to come up with some dad jokes. So I got you guys next week.
Anyway, I am Sean MF Ross.
What the MF stand for?
Master of Fists.
Oh my.
AKA the life changer.
There's questions, but we'll save that.
I don't have answers.
I am Jordan, aka JXBot, aka Jordan the Mech Warrior, maybe. I don't know, I'm playing some of that this week.
Okay.
Jordan Star Citizen.
The child rebel soldier.
No. Unfortunately, we are not recruiting children for our battles in this fantasy universe.
Boo!
That album never came out, and I've never been more saltier.
CRS, yeah.
And who is that?
Damn you, Kanye.
Hi, my name is Avery, aka a neat popsicle, aka see me on the Outlands in Apex Legends. I will be the Wraith with the Predator badge and the 2K damage badge inting on you because my team isn't right next to me.
That's so specific.
Very specific.
And now that we have been introduced, normally we would go to what we've been playing, but this is a different kind of episode because we will be doing E3 predictions. So with that being said, we are going to skip to what we've been playing and then instead talk about the quick hits. But before we do that, we have housekeeping. I just wanted to let everyone know that don't forget to join us as we are donating to the Palestine charity drive. You can go there at pressx2start.com/Palestine. So make sure you do that. Shout out to Roy Knight for being literally the first person after myself who jumped on and just donated. So thanks again. And we're not getting any money. So the kids who are getting it, they appreciate it.
Trick love the kids.
Mm-hmm. The next thing is we don't exactly have an official E3 schedule yet because they're slowly eking the information out, but
we don't have any insider info at the companies yet.
Not yet.
No insider. We only have a loose understanding of who's going to be there and who's not.
Right. And so far, Xbox had put a time. So in terms of what we are going to do, the plan is to do a live stream of probably the big three. So Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. But yes, we're probably doing a live stream. And all of our video and audio content will be available to watch and listen to on our YouTube channel and our podcast stuff. So when it drops, make sure you get it.
God. I can only imagine if Sony brings the fire like they did last year.
It's going to be a lot of high-pitched screaming. I can't wait.
I'm very confident that this year Sony is going to keep up the heat, especially if Microsoft comes with the heat I think they're going to come with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I hope so. They better not skip out on anything cool. And we're back. Now it's time for the quick hits. DJ, take it away. All right, cool. Number one, this comes from Games Radar. 41% of PS4 and PS5 owners are women, Sony reveals. This is cool. I mean, it's one of those things where, as times change, more women are getting into gaming. And of course, PlayStation, Xbox, that's the console you go to for gaming or Nintendo Switch too. But yeah, it's just cool to see an actual number on this, and it's almost 50%, which is also like, wow, that's really surprising.
this was a part of a larger data dump that Sony had given out. I think maybe next time we'll go deeper into what was talked about.
Yeah, it was a
I've been
lot.
reading it, and it's like, all right, I see how you're doing your math there.
You keep your secrets.
All right, number 2. This comes from The Verge. Evidence is piling up that Netflix wants to be the Netflix of games.
All
So
right.
this is a weird one because Game Pass is already the Netflix of games.
Well, that is my thing. I already have a bias against Netflix, but after events of Stadia, after the events of, we haven't seen what Amazon's Luna is going to be, but considering Amazon has canceled a lot of the game that they were working on in the background,
Luna is still going right now, though.
Yeah, Luna's still going on, but the games that they were making in the background at Amazon Game Studios has most of them have disappeared.
But let me ask the group a question. What's the last thing you heard about Amazon Luna?
I heard Greg Miller being excited about it 2 months ago.
Yakuza 0 is coming to it.
I think they did a stream. I think they did a stream. But
let me find out that I'm just misinformed. All right, cool.
I mean, Luna is. I mean, like I thought Luna was supposed to be like you subscribe to a publisher, you get all those games. You know,
Luna seems like Luna seems like the best of both worlds between Game Pass and Stadia, where it's a streaming platform, but the way it exists, it will allow it to have day-and-date games that Game Pass won't be able to really get.
Right.
Like Ubisoft is willing to put all of its games day and date on Luna.
That's confirmed?
Yeah, I believe that was what I was informed when they first announced. If that is true, that is something really big. And if Luna truly shows up to be as an effective streaming platform, then the other third-party platforms are going to want to play ball with that. Especially because I think Luna also does a la carte gaming as well as have these big channels.
Oh,
so it's more like an Amazon Prime,
right?
In which it has its library of streaming things that you can get like a subscription for, or you can just say, "Fuck it, I actually want to have this license permanently."
Huh? Isn't that what? Oh no, I guess that's not what Stadia was trying to do, right? It was more so you see the video and you see the YouTube video, you click on the link and it takes you to the game, right?
Yeah. Well, Stadia, the weird thing was Stadia wasn't the Netflix of video games.
Right.
It didn't have this vast library of games. You had to buy all these games a la carte, but they were all old games.
Right.
And they weren't getting new games.
Well, let's see if Amazon can see it for failed.
And back to the point at hand, I have no confidence until Netflix shows me 3 giant games that get me hyped to want to turn on my resubscribe to Netflix to play games. Because I'm like, there's no library that they can show me that isn't on either Game Pass, hasn't been on a PlayStation platform at some point, hasn't been on Stadia or Luna that will get me excited. So this really is for the person who doesn't own a console, doesn't pay attention to video games, has a Netflix, and that says to me, not big AAA games. That says to me, Netflix business as usual. Let's put out a lot of really iffy AA things that just keep people
in Netflix original.
It's Last of Us, the Netflix original.
But I will eat my words if Netflix goes out of there and say, "Hey, we bought Devolver Digital, and we're just going to use them as the backbone of our platform."
That'd be smart.
But anyway,
yeah.
Or what if Netflix? Yeah, it is. But what if Netflix bought THQ Nordic?
They don't have the money in the world.
You think?
THQ Nordic literally owns like 50% of the video game market space, if not Microsoft, Nintendo, and Xbox.
And I don't even know if Netflix is in the black yet. So.
What if we just all do ourselves a favor and get Game Pass? All right, DJ, what was the next?
Hey Jordan, if you want to pay for me to have Game Pass and not play it, hey man.
Well, seeing you're not going to play it.
Of the developer of Game Pass. Number 3, this comes from Pure Xbox. It's official. Xbox and Bethesda showcase is coming on June 13th. This is great. Everyone was kind of wondering exactly how Bethesda would move forward with their conference now that they're owned by Xbox, and Now we know. So June 13th, we'll find out exactly how long the showcase is.
The showcase was estimated to be an hour and 30 minutes. So it's a lot of
even better. So hopefully we'll see some Starfield in that.
Well, I'm semi excited. Semi in that I need to see more proof in the pudding of Xbox's catalog of Xbox original game that they've been working on for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Bethesda is still on my shit list for the last 5 years of their own world. So I'm just like, I'm on a wait and see thing. Wait and see.
I'm pretty excited to see what happens here because like we know that Microsoft has a bunch of studios and we know that they're all been working on stuff. So it's like now is a really good time to show out. So hopefully when
it comes, it'll hit pretty hard.
Yeah. And
that's what I'm thinking.
and here's the thing: it not just needs to hit hard; it needs to hit hard and be good.
Oh yeah,
true.
Yeah, asking a lot here, man.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right. Number 4. This comes from Polygon. Final Fantasy Origins by Team Ninja rumored for E3 2021 reveal.
Isn't that Final Fantasy 16?
No, so apparently this is supposed to be a separate Souls-like game developed by Team Ninja.
Sounds terrible.
So
I'm just playing. I'm nothing against Team Ninja.
Here's the thing. I don't know what that would. I don't know what that would look like. A slower down Final Fantasy game.
It would look like Neo. Neo was the last Souls-like game Team Ninja made, and it's pretty much just going to have the Final Fantasy trappings on it. As a Souls-like fan, this is super exciting to hear.
Really? Okay.
The only thing that's going to make this more exciting if the Souls team was actually making it.
And we know that they're probably working on something.
They're working on Elden Ring, and we're still waiting on news for that game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. Number 5. This comes from IGN. Dragon Quest 3 is being remade in the style of Octopath Traveler.
I've not played either. But actually, Octopath Traveler is on Game Pass. I might check that out.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I need to check that out.
But so yeah, this is actually really cool. So Dragon Quest had their live stream, and this was one of the announcements in it. I think it was also on Thursday. Like Thursday was a day of live streams for some strange reason.
Insane.
Yeah, and looking at the photos of this, it looks beautiful. I'm not going to be buying it because it's not really my bag in terms of game. But
I'm torn.
Yeah.
I like Dragon Quest as a franchise. I'm not in love with it. I've always preferred Final Fantasy. I've always wanted to play Dragon Quest 3. I don't like the look of Octopath Traveler, and that's because. And so them making this game and like them making this game to look like that doesn't do anything for me.
Right.
Just like, oh, this sucks. This sucks.
You lost me.
But didn't Octopath Traveler get like Game of the Year or something like that?
No, here's the thing.
It didn't get Game of the Year, but it did get some accolades. Though.
Octopath is made by the made by the Bravely Default team. And my issue is, I think I've had this conversation with DJ a long time ago. I don't like sprite-based games. Like I don't like it aesthetically. A sprite-based games only remind me of old things, and like I just die old. It doesn't interest me. So nothing with it. Like it's like it's one of those things where like whatever. It's Dragon Quest 3. It's going to be a great game. I think it from a pure design standpoint. I think it looks amazing. I'm just like I wish they had gone a little bit more into it. And like gave it the big like 35th anniversary. Like let's make instead of making Dragon Quest 12, let's Final Fantasy 7 remake this shit.
Yeah, no, that'd actually be a really good idea for them. Like I would have expected by now to see more remade games like Final Fantasy 7 remake, but I guess it's just it costs too much to do that.
No, 100%.
Like even if Metal Gear had a remake, that'd be pretty cool.
Cool. Another remake.
Yeah, well, yes, another.
Can't forget about Twin Snakes.
Oh, true. Who can forget about Twin Snakes? Number 6. This comes from Game Rant. Sega is going big for Sonic the Hedgehog's 30th anniversary.
Woo! no, the zombie
Boy.
lives.
So there was this jam-packed, some would say,
Jam-packed.
Sonic stream. And
Fuck
if you
yeah.
missed it, let me tell you something. You missed it. Really, really and truly, the biggest thing that came out of this was at the end, they teased a new game where the Sonic looked kind of like a mashup between the classic, like, stubby Sonic and the Sonic Adventure Sonic. And we don't know exactly what it's going to be. And then also, the bigger thing, some would say, was that there's Sonic Bling.
Are there going to be spinning rooms?
You could probably put it on a spinning room if you want.
Theoretically,
there's 4, so you can get 4 and put them on each time.
I don't wear obnoxious jewelry, so I couldn't tell you.
Ain't nothing obnoxious about that. It's perfectly fine.
It's Black Diamond's Shadow.
Yes.
What is not obnoxious about
Well,
that?
you remember when Shadow had guns? No one was saying anything during that time. So
No,
you remember when Shadow appealed to black people?
Okay. But in all seriously, this really felt like they realized they had a 35th anniversary and weren't ready to show anything and had to quickly make a lot of stuff happen.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot, people who were, really excited for this was expecting a lot because they didn't really do anything the past few years for Sonic. And to see that this is what
barring the movie
came up with, barring the movie, yes, the movie was great. The movie was great.
The movie was the last movie I saw in theaters, and I was not disappointed.
Yes. So just to run down the list, there is a 30th anniversary symphony that will be available for free online. Sonic will be appearing in other games, including Tokyo 2021 Olympic Games, even though that didn't actually happen.
I think they're still calling it the 2020 games.
Yeah. Did I say 2021?
Yeah.
2020 games. 2020 is just completely like X'd out of my mind. There will be a Sonic's Fighter game in the Lost Judgment video game. And that's kind of weird because it's going to be a arcade game inside of the actual Lost Judgment game that you can play. And then there's a couple other stuff. Sonic's also in 2 Point Hospital or something like that. Sonic Colors is back for those who play and know of Sonic Colors. When I saw this, I thought it was Sonic Adventures, and then it said Colors, and I was like, what's that? So, longtime Sonic fan here, And then Sonic Origins, which is basically a collection of all the old Sonic games. And this is probably the only thing that really appealed to me because I stopped playing Sonic after Sonic and Knuckles.
Bullshit.
Somewhere.
You didn't play Adventures?
I didn't play Adventures because I didn't have a Dreamcast. One of my best friends, he had Dreamcast
on GameCube.
Yeah.
Was it on GameCube?
I have
like every Dreamcast game, it came to GameCube eventually.
Yeah.
I did not know. I would have played it on GameCube. I didn't know that.
You can play it on Xbox.
Oh, okay. I'll just
I'm
Xbox.
pretty sure you can play it on PlayStation as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I have Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 on my Xbox Series X, and I play it from time to time.
Are they on your Series X, or do you own the license currently that you can download them at any time?
Yeah, no, I own it because it's on the Xbox Marketplace. Like the majority of Dreamcast's catalog is on the Microsoft.
Jordan, what I was trying to indicate was, do you have the games currently downloaded right now? Could you turn around and just start playing those 2 games right now?
Yes. It's on my hard drive.
Okay,
I got a 5 terabyte hard drive.
That's all that.
Joe's like, no, it's tattooed on my body.
Dude, it's gonna be there. It's right next to Crazy Taxi too. I'm crazy about that shit.
So there's a bunch of other Sonic stuff. So if you are interested and you actually missed it, make sure you catch it because there was a lot. And that bling, I'm considering making a sexy bad choice. Number 7. This comes from Polygon. Dying Light 2's release date was revealed by Techland in their stream. So this was really interesting. I kind of forgot that this was happening.
Yeah,
and I
it
caught
was a game that debuted back in 2018 or some shit.
Long time. So I actually caught this one, and I was really surprised by what I saw. So the release date is December 7th for this year. And they showed it's called Dying Light 2 Stay Human. I was pleasantly surprised. Even the even the layout of how they had the live stream, there was two people talking. Like one person was the actual character from the main character in the game, and like all that was really cool. I really like the style of the actual live stream, but then the game itself, I also liked what I was seeing there. Like Dying Light 1 was a game that I played and enjoyed, but games like that, I prefer to do it in a multiplayer setting than single player. So that was always a thing. And like, I did not bother or wanted to do anything at nighttime at all, unless I was with a person. So all that just kind of led me to play about, I think I played like 10 hours of it. And I just kind of put it down and then went back to it. But this is looking like more of that, but better. The characters seem to have more, or the characters seem to have more mobility in terms of traversing. And I really like the aesthetic of the city level, the ground level is considered the underground because it's been like radioactively like destroyed.
Radioactive.
Remember that song within every video?
Right.
Those are good times.
And then like it seemed like the humans have essentially taken over the rooftops of the buildings or whatever. So like there's like vegetation and not wildlife, but flora on the rooftop. So it looked really cool. Will I get it? We'll see. It's one of those things where if enough of y'all get it, then I'll get it. But
that's going to be a
December.
big no for me, Playboy. No offense to Dying Light 2, the tech developers. I didn't play Dying Light 1. And it's a game that I think its announcement trailer was really cool. And then I waited 2.5 years for them to say anything else about that game. And I'm just thinking about what my fall is going to be. And so the only way I'm going to play that game is if literally nothing else comes down around it.
Yeah, I think that's the problem for me too. It's that like there should be a lot of stuff coming this fall, and it might get crowded out by other games. So we'll see. Number 8. This comes from Polygon again. Far Cry 6 launches in October. Talking about games that might get crowded out by, with new weapons and a blockbuster story. So this was a big thing that I was not the only one that saw this. Yeah. So you guys have opinions on it?
I am a big Far Cry fan. I think I played every Far Cry game except for Primal and maybe Blood Dragon. I don't count Blood Dragon as a main game. Primal I just wasn't really interested in. But I played every major Far Cry game. And I think I mentioned this earlier when we were talking beforehand. There's always a cycle of they do a big Far Cry reveal. I get super excited. I play the game and I'm like, I like this. It's like, it was good, but like, I'm not in love with it.
I'm gonna get it.
I'm like, I'm still gonna play it because I enjoy Far Cry games. This is the first one I saw. This is the first of the last 3 that they've shown off. I've seen this game, and I'm like, this looks legitimately like this looks like a next gen experience as a Far Cry game, and that has me super excited. And they seem to have fixed one of my big issues with the last game. In that last game, you weren't a character.
Yeah, you were just the sheriff.
You were like this nameless character who had no agency in the story.
Are you talking about 5?
Yeah. You can make yourself look like whatever you wanted, but ultimately that didn't really matter because you got the interactions with people.
You were the sheriff. You got to go around and solve people's problems.
You weren't having conversations with them. This looks like, I think the Denny Rojas character, even though they're not committing to it being a female character. I think that character looks really cool, and I'm very interested to see how this story is being told through their lens, because this is very interesting in terms of the narrative. I think this is the first Far Cry game in a while where you're playing a character who's actually like intimately involved in the conflict as a local.
Oh, okay.
Like 3, you were a tourist. 4, you were born there, but you were raised in America and were coming back. 5, you're just a random guy you're just a random law enforcement who's brought in to deal with an issue. This is one where this is a problem I've grown up with. This is the world I've had to live in. I'm doing something about this. Let's see what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I'm not. I don't think I'm big as a Far Cry fan as Avery clearly, but I've been playing Far Cry since 4, and I mean, this is what I kind of warn people about Ubisoft and their trailers, at least associated with Far Cry series after 3, is they get a pretty charismatic actor. They have them do a stoic, like speech or something like that, or oh, here's a character from that series. But I think 4 was literally what's his name, Nolan North or Troy Baker or whatever, playing an Asian.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Which is problematic in itself. But I will say that
there were different times.
If there was any Far Cry game to come into, I think this is when they finally refine the tools of this series.
On that point about the villain, I agree with you. 3 had Voss. Voss is in the first third of that game, and that's it.
It's gone.
But that's not everyone talks about. 4 had Pagan Min. Pagan Min's at the beginning and the very end of that game. That's it. Joseph Seed.
No, sorry, it's not Joseph Seed. It's Matthew McConaughey. That was what Joseph Seed was.
Joseph Seed was in 5, and he's a character who is a constant presence in that game. I think they did a much better job of making him an actual character.
Well, his lieutenants had personality, though.
Yeah, his lieutenants had personality. He has a personality, but like you don't necessarily interact with him on a regular basis. But this is a game that doesn't forget that he exists in that game.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of the one with the DLC with the 2 girls, right?
Yeah, the 2 girls.
That's
the 2 girls one, they are constantly in that game. You're constantly interacting with those characters.
Gotcha.
And so this game, the only thing I'm afraid of in regards to its villain is that they got this big actor. So am I going to get Keanu Reeves Cyberpunk thing? Where I'm like, he's all over this game.
Cyberpunk.
Hell yeah.
Or am I going to get like a Mads Mikkelsen Death Stranding thing where like he's in choice parts of the game, but not a lot of the game?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the latter. Like, I think it's going to be in there like in a total of 15 minutes.
Well, I think based I don't actually think so because his son looks like they're going to be a big character in the narrative.
Yeah.
Which means that we're going to probably see a lot of interaction with these two characters. And because they're also going for it looks like a third-person camera to tell the story of this game, so we're actually getting cutscenes, we're probably also going to get a lot of just scenes of other characters dealing with stuff as the narrative is being told. But that's just me like guessing based on what I saw in the trailer.
Right. In terms of me, this is pretty much the first Far Cry that I saw, and I was like, I actually want to play this. Like normally I just see it and it's like a ship passing in the night. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's cool, I guess. But this is the first one that really kind of got me. So I might be
for the YouTube compilations of someone throwing a shovel into the air, killing 3 people, and having the shovel hit the 4th person, and that's the end of the scene. I love that shit.
What grabbed you about this one, DJ?
I think everything really and truly. Like I like the character, I liked her motivations, I liked the environment, I liked what I saw in terms of the weaponry, even the dog with the
Chorizo.
Yes, with the
which is Spanish for sausage, and there was a lot of controversy around that.
Really?
Yeah.
From where? When? How? What the fuck? There's always controversy with this.
When they first revealed chorizo, a lot of Latinx people were not up in arms because they are valid to their emotions, but they're a little annoyed that this European studio had a wiener dog, and like people don't name their animals after food.
Okay, that's interesting.
What was super funny about that, and this is just an aside to that because they're 100% valid in their opinions. Greg Miller has a wiener dog that he named Portillo after hot dogs.
Yep.
So like that is something that is not necessarily true, but it's entirely valid point that they have.
Right. I guess it's one of those culture thing where like they don't do that, but like American, I guess European, like they do that. So, but yeah, like
say it, DJ. Say what you want to say.
But yeah, I really liked it. You know, I'm willing to give it a shot. It's one of those things where the only thing that I need to prepare myself is pretty much just for the whole checklist thing, and it's I just hope that they kind of move away from that, but it really looks like that fits in this context.
It's going to have the exact same trappings of every Far Cry game.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the big difference between this and sort of the Assassin's Creed series when it came to reinvention is that people can argue this. I argue it didn't, but people can argue this. They needed the reinvention. Far Cry games haven't. That's never been the issue with Far Cry games. The general issue with Far Cry games traditionally has been its narrative and people's reaction to that narrative.
Okay.
That's why I'm more interested in this.
Okay. We will see. Speaking of seeing, number 9. This comes from The Verge. Horizon Forbidden West gameplay was revealed in a 14-minute long state of play. A couple things to note is that there was no release date set. This is coming to PS5 and PS4. And before the actual reveal, there was a 5-hour-long countdown timer that just showed essentially scenery from the game. I jumped in a few times thinking that was the time that the actual gameplay reveal was supposed to be shown, and I'm like, what's going on here?
So
is
this going to be a PlayStation 4 Plus game playable on PS5 because it's like in that little weird space between PS4 and PS5?
I don't know.
They're committing to it also being on PS4 after Cyberpunk. I don't think that's a good idea, especially looking at this game run on PS5.
Yeah.
How many frames do you think that was, Avery? How many?
That was all the frames. That was all the frames.
No. What was it? No, like was it 30 or 60? I don't know. People were.
Yeah, Cyberpunk was trying to run on 4 different systems, though. This is Sony working.
That is the point. That is a good point. And this is the team that shipped Horizon 1. So theoretically, they would know
the little baby hand that's coming out of the frame that grabs Sean's sweater is hilarious and adorable.
But no, Avery, 30 or 60 frames.
Man. Frames for me aren't a thing. Like when I have the frames counter up when I play Apex, and
Jordan has become a frame snob.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm sorry.
I think it was 60 frames. So
if it's PS5, odds are they were showing it off on 60 frames. Or
I think it was 60. I think it was 60 frames. And I think it depends. Because I went back and I watched the video, and of course it was like 4K or whatever, and it definitely felt like 60 frames versus 30 frames. I think it just might have been a thing where whoever you were watching, I'm not sure if you watched it from the PlayStation, their own stream or wherever. But
if you watch it from the stream, it's going to be 1080p, 30,
most likely 30.
30. But if you watch the 4K after video, it's definitely going to be.
People was watching the live stream on DSL talking about this frame rate is shit.
On DSL. But so we can actually go into what we saw. What your thoughts was on this? And Avery, you go first.
Horizon 1 is probably one of my favorite PS4 games. It's probably number 2, and that's a game I'm super high on. I have very fond memories of it. I think about it all the time in regards to the PlayStation's history. This game looks like a direct answer to Horizon 1. Like literally every complaint I heard about Horizon 1, this game seems from a mechanical standpoint to answer those. And I am super excited to see the world they build for this new game.
Okay.
I can say more, but I just
Jordan?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry. I just got a text message about baby, so sorry.
No. I mean, I'll yield to someone else.
Jordan, did you play the first one?
No, I didn't, and I don't know if I'm going to be playing the Horizon games either. I mean, I have nothing against the game. It looks good, but the third-person action, it's fine. I'll watch someone play it.
Pretend it's Gears. Just pretend it's Gears. That's what you got to do.
So I get to fall asleep playing it?
Wow.
I know. Look. I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of your king. I'm just trying to say that.
No,
you mean queen. You mean queen. Respect the queen.
I'm sure this game's gonna be amazing.
I mean, I have a copy if you want to borrow it, Jordan.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna get all the accolades, and you know, like it's gonna be an amazing story, and people just gonna
Wait, he didn't play God of War either, didn't he?
No, he didn't.
Nope.
He didn't play Last of Us
Get the fuck
either.
off this
Ain't
street.
Last of Us either, also. You're getting a whole different opinion here, man. I'm just saying, gaming is diverse. Some people have played Halo, some people
Not on this podcast.
George's like, fuck all this human shit.
I'm just saying, you know, I mean, it looks like a great third-person romp.
Okay, no,
A lot of
I'm,
dodging.
I'm excited for Horizon 2.
Mhm.
It's funny, the Switch came out around the same time as the first Horizon, along with Breath of the Wild. I started playing Breath of the Wild, and then Horizon came out, and I never touched it again. So I never actually finished Zelda because of Breath of the Horizon.
The exact same. Like, here's the thing. The funny thing about that story you just told is the exact opposite apparently happened to everyone else in the world. But the story you're telling is what happened to me as well.
Me too.
Me too. I got both those games at the same time.
Yeah.
I played Breath of the Wild and realized this game is not for me.
It's not Zelda.
I play Horizon. I'm like, this game's world is amazing. Its story is amazing. Its combat is amazing. I am having fun playing this game.
Yep.
Well, how about this? How about I download Horizon on my PC?
Do it.
Do it.
I can give you the PS4 version.
You know, maybe we'll see.
Hopefully, there might be some kind of you know, deal where they release Horizon for PS Plus in like July.
Well, that's already did.
Well, that's a very interesting thing. Because it's a very interesting thing about the PlayStation Collection.
Yeah,
we've known about Horizon 2 for a while. Horizon 1 isn't on that collection.
Oh,
What?
I just assumed that it wasn't. That's weird.
I don't think it is.
They
Well,
just
Sean,
gave it away
I'll-
last month. Are y'all not paying attention?
Sean, you don't
Yeah,
let me
you're right.
finish. I'm talking about the collection. But they also just released Horizon 1 as a game, as one of their play at home initiative games.
Also true. Also true.
Yeah, I might give it a shot. Oh, we'll see.
All console jabbery aside, no, like Horizon 1 is legitimately an amazing game that, like, from a pure narrative standpoint, it's probably one of the most interesting games I played this year. Well, in the last generation.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, like I watching the 14-minute video, it was weird because at first I was like, oh yeah, this feels a lot like Horizon, to the point where it's like, all right, is there going to be anything different from this?
and then Aloy does a super move.
Literally did her fucking smash. And I was like, oh fuck, okay. You got me, motherfucker. That, like, and then from that point on, it just like everything was just like, oh, this is dope. This is dope. Oh, the people riding the Raptors, they gave the Raptors feathers. Thank you. Like all that was just really, really cool. And it's one of those things where I started kind of like, all right, I expect to be wowed, and I wasn't wowed immediately, and I was kind of like, oh no. And then they wowed me. I was like, oh yes.
I think the game wowed me when they showed that waterfall as he was walking over, and like you could see the mist over it. I sort of realized, oh, this game is going to look amazing. How is this game going to run on the PS4?
Very carefully. Yeah, like I even the combat, like because I watched it over again, and I really wanted to look at the weapon wheel to see like if there was anything new, like exactly how it looked like, because in the actual game it really, like, they flash it really quickly, and it looks very much so like the Horizon 1 weapon wheel. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I know
the javelins are new.
Javelins new, and then the sticky grenade bomb thing, that's also
no. I know she had 2 different slingshots in the last game. I'm not sure, but I do think from the stickiness of it seems to be new.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, like I just wanted to make sure to see, like, you know, if there was anything like really different that I could pinpoint or pick up from. I really did like the, I don't know the grappling hook zip line thing or whatever. And then the
call the hook shot.
Yeah, okay, that's hook shot, you're right. Yes. And then the the parachute or whatever.
Call it the glider.
Glider, yes. Yeah. I really like those 2 things that they pulled directly from Zelda. But overall, I was excited to see this, and it met my expectations at the end. Can't wait for it to actually release in July and August. And that's one of my predictions. So that's it for the quick hits. Now it's time to transition over to the heavy hitters, where we will be having our E3 predictions. And as I just said, my prediction number 1 is Horizon will be released between July and August of this year.
You are crazy.
I know.
You are crazy.
I know.
I mean, if God of War gets pushed back, then I think Horizon going to take its place for the fall.
I don't think God of War is coming this year at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's what other Sony games coming?
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. So just real quick, I think the reason why this is happening is I think this game was in development for a long time. I think Sony.
It's been at least 3 years since the last Horizon.
Yeah,
and that's ignoring them doing the DLC.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So like, I feel like this is. I feel like this is going.
I'm just looking at the doc being edited in real time, and I'm just like,
I made that fall intentionally, Jordan.
I was like, why are you doing that? It's pissing me off.
I'll get to that one later on. But
right.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. I'm being optimistic that Sony is making this was going to be making one of those plays like, oh, this is more on Horizon 2. By the way, it's dropping next month, and everyone's like, oh my god.
No,
that would be amazing. I don't think it's going to happen. Realistically, this looks like a November game.
They need time to pump pre-orders and pre-order bonuses and all
that.
Yeah,
DJ, I'm on your train of thought. I'm also confident that they showed a good chunk of the gameplay experience that they were super confident about.
Yeah.
I do know that when they do this stuff, they had to cut this chunk out and just polish it up. So there's always that chicanery of maybe this isn't as good as we think it is. That being said, they seem confident. They also seem confident in a blog post after that they had more to speak about this game.
Right.
And since we know that Sony's going to be doing some E3 stuff, we might hear something more later. I think very much that Horizon 2 is going to be November later or very early, probably February, March next year.
Okay.
But I love the energy you're putting out there, DJ. Nothing would make me happier than being able to hit the download button on that game the minute they announce it.
Right. Jordan.
What?
What's the prediction you got?
Am I going with my whole list?
We'll just do we'll just do round robin. So pick.
Forza Horizon will be announced, and its release date will be in the fall.
Ooh.
I mean, it's one of Xbox's tentpole games. Like in terms of its popularity and success.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like one of the top racing games of last generation, and this one because each one is improved upon. You start off with Horizon 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been a great game, and besides me being a fan of Forza Horizon, this will help bolster their fall lineup.
Right.
This game in particular. So yeah, day and date, and it's going to be in Mexico, so that should be fun. Mexico City is what the rumor is.
Do you think this is going to be before Halo? If Halo drops this year?
Yeah, it'll be before Halo. It'll be like probably sometime in September, October.
Okay.
Yeah, turn 10. Like the reason why I'm so excited about Fable is because how well Playground Games was able to develop this racing game to be to be beyond a traditional racer, essentially. Like they know how to design games well.
Right.
And I'm happy that, Microsoft decided to just buy them up because it's like, just one of those developers that knows what the fuck they're doing.
And then give them the confidence, specifically Playground, to make something new.
Right.
Oh yeah. Well, like revitalizing a franchise that's like their third person answer to the majority of Sony's success in that genre.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Sean. Oh, okay. Sean's muted. So, Avery gave his.
I'm doing no. I'm here.
All right.
I'm doing a little mic finessing since I have the baby with me, so y'all don't hear too much
I get you.
baby boo boo games in the background. But my first prediction, I'm hoping since we're getting all these remakes, they bring back Ape Escape.
Oh, okay.
Of
Now,
Far Cry.
Which
are we
publisher-
talking? I believe. No,
Yeah, which-
wait, no.
which publisher-
Konami makes Ape Escape.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
You know
Konami.
what?
Yeah, Ape Escape is a Konami property. So we'll see.
God
I mean, that could
no.
be-
It's developed by a Japan studio.
Sony Interactive Entertainment.
Okay.
Japan Studios defunct now, by the way.
Oh, that is- yeah, man.
Right, next prediction.
Here's the thing. Well, it's Japan Studio is not really defunct. It's just now
Well,
just Team
yeah.
Asobi right now.
Right,
But Team
yeah.
Asobi needs to be making a new Astrobot
Astrobot,
game,
yeah.
especially with the okay.
Right, they could be making a Ape Escape game with all the haptics and the feedback and the bipping and the blocking.
You know what? That would actually be a good studio to do Ape Escape because that's pretty
No,
much.
you don't even like the first one. Hush.
I don't know, man. I might need to put Ape Escape in Armored Core territory in terms of.
Don't you defile the name of Armored Core. Okay, so my next one is.
I didn't go yet.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Avery.
No, speaking of Team Asobi, I think we are going to see Sony's next gen headset, which will probably be released. Not this fall, but Q1 or 2 next year.
Sony's known for the headsets?
Their VR headset.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. VR. I thought you meant like regular, like headsets. VR. Okay.
Okay.
But
You-
wasn't-
you said when that's going to release?
Probably like there's 2 scenarios in my mind.
Mhm.
Next year, but I think it would be smarter for them to release it in the first half of next year and not wait for the holiday rush when there are other things they're trying to sell at the time. Next year beginning is probably going to be full of games, but it's going to be quiet in regards to like hardware sales unless the Switch Pro becomes like this weird juggernaut, which I don't think it will be because they're still selling the Switch. And I think they need to fix their VR issue on the PS5 right now.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. I actually didn't think about doing any VR stuff as a. Okay. So my next prediction is gonna be hated by a lot, but I think Starfield will actually be shown, but will be a departure from the Bethesda formula. It will offer a tighter story narrative and be not as open as Skyrim.
DJ, that sounds like the greatest fucking thing in the world.
Oh, wonderful.
Like one of my big issues with Bethesda games is that I grew up in the Eastern era of RPGs. So big open narratives, open world things with all these objectives all over the place and no real tight narrative to push you forward never really did anything for me. I found Fallout 3 extremely boring. And it took me literally just like dedicating myself to making my own narrative in Skyrim to like that game. So nothing about them making Starfield seemed interesting to me, especially when Mass Effect exists.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, especially for Bethesda, that's not.
Why you say it like that?
Mass Effect? Oh, is it a Mass Effect?
It's interchangeable for me sometimes. It's whatever I'm saying. Bethesda, who haven't done a good job in the last couple of years selling themselves. Nothing would make me more excited for Starfield if they decide, hey, we're not going to make this big game that's going to break and not work on half the software in the world, even though we're now only having to make it for this one console. We're going to make a tight experience that will then allow us to put out our other thing forward. Imagine it. I imagine it to be a more AAA version of the Outer Worlds.
Yeah. I think that's actually a really good example of execution. Like that would be a good that would actually be a good fit. The reason why I don't feel like it's necessary for them to try to do an open world thing is after playing so much No Man's Sky, it's like you don't need to do this. Like it's No Man's Sky is great and I love it. I'm playing it now, but like it's not necessary. Like Mass Effect, if Mass Effect had more, if Mass Effect Andromeda was supposed to be what it's supposed to be, that would be like, that's what I would expect Starfield to be, unless Starfield's going to be more of a human thing. But I don't know.
And then like Star Citizen exists, and that is Star Citizen is sort of what Mass Effect Andromeda wanted to be.
Yeah.
And that game is just in limbo right now. So like, Bethesda is
making money in limbo though.
Yeah, Bethesda is jank. I'm not very confident, but I'm very interested in what you're selling, DJ.
Yeah. And the other thing is that if Starfield were to come out this year, it would have been in development way before. Well, yeah, it would have been development before Microsoft bought it. And a lot of people are saying that now Microsoft bought Bethesda, they'll be able to take time to actually make their games work as they should without having all these bugs and issues and such. But like, that wouldn't even be the thing that would happen with Starfield.
But you also have to take into account that the fact that the Starfield team is also the Fallout 76 team.
Yikes.
So they were making Bethesda was making all hands on deck for Fallout 76. That's why when they revealed Starfield, they're like, "Hey, don't worry, guys. We're doing Fallout 76. Also going to do Starfield eventually."
Yeah. Okay.
So theoretically, the timetable on that game is maybe 2 years. 2 years, and that's not taking into account pre-production and everything like that. And then Todd Howard himself is now working on another game within the Microsoft ecosystem. So, like, I am not convinced this is a 2022 game.
Okay. So, Jordan?
Starfield's coming out fall 2022. It's going to be a mix between Star Citizen and Fallout, because you guys talked about Outer Worlds, and I'm like, Outer Worlds is very much so like Fallout. I mean, of course, there's more quote unquote linear sections of it, and you are going to different planets, but each overworld is probably a 10th of the size of what the Fallout, wasteland was. So that was quote unquote more manageable. What the reason why Bethesda was trying to get the fuck out of ZeniMax was because ZeniMax is run by venture capitalists. Yeah. And their main goal is to get as much content out as relation to whatever is popular as quickly as possible. So that led to Fallout 76, this massively multiplayer online games of a service thing, because games of a service is the only thing that was paying for AAAs for a time. And to be honest, still, what Todd Howard did when Bethesda was still a part of ZeniMax was actually go to Phil Spencer and say, "Hey, what the fuck do I do?" Like, we shit the bed on Fallout 76. And since Fallout 76 came out back in 2018, there has been improvements to that game. That has occurred, that people are saying, like, within that community have marketed on. So now that the relationship between Bethesda and Microsoft has been actualized, they now have the funding and development support to make this high concept space RPG that will be in the same vein as Outer Wilds, in my opinion, but very much so grandiose. So I'm excited for it, and I don't think it's coming out this year. No fucking way. Yeah, I think it's gonna be the big banger for fall next year.
Okay. All right, I like that, Sean.
I think they should bring back Twisted Metal.
Sean's bringing out all the hits. David Gaffey would love you to have you on if Moriarty, whatever that name.
Colin
Moriarty.
I have played every Twisted Metal. I don't know why they let it die after Twisted Metal Black on the PS2.
I think it just aged out in terms of not even demographic, but just like the
story-wise, they had nothing else to say.
I don't think it was storyline. I think it was the style of gameplay. Like there's only one arcade. There's only like one arcade racing game out there right now. It's Mario Kart. That's like.
I was gonna say Rocket League, but okay.
Did you play the PS3 Twisted Metal 2009? Remember that? Y'all don't remember that game?
Yeah, did I?
I remember that. I remember that game. I remember one scene vividly of the giant mech sweet tooth robot, and I was like, why is it happening? Why am I never gonna forget this?
I thought the game was lit. I mean, it was cool to watch, but I never played the fucking thing. But it was cool to watch.
I'm trying to think, did I play that? I don't remember.
So I have actually
I know, right?
I have a question, Sean.
Yeah.
Would you feel some kind of way if they released Twisted Metal, but it wasn't created or produced by David Jaffe?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I feel like it
Well,
would
like,
be
you remember-
cool to see Twisted Metal come back, but I don't necessarily think that it needs to come back from David Jaffe. I don't think
Point of reference, Sean. David Jaffe did the original God of Wars.
he did.
Mm.
He did.
He had nothing to do with the new God of Wars.
Yeah.
And the new God of War is still lit though, so that's why I say I'm not sure. Apparently, I did play the. It was 2012. I did play it.
Okay.
Damn. You don't remember the fucking name?
I mean, that's 10 years ago, guy.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. That's a long time.
I got you.
All right. Twisted Metal returns. Interesting. Okay. Avery, you got another one?
Okay, so this is a Gatorade. Shout out to Tim Gay. This is a Gatorade get hype moment. I don't think it's going to happen, but like it would be so dope if it did. Microsoft has been cementing itself as a juggernaut of a first-party studio. In regards to with the Bethesda deal, Sony has been slowly but surely making deals with other publishers to make games PlayStation exclusive for a short period of time. They're rebuilding old relationships that got splintered during the Microsoft rise, when we got that big moment when we were at the Microsoft press conference. They put Final Fantasy 13 up there and everyone was shocked.
Yeah.
I think that in the next year, Sony is going to acquire one of the big Japanese developers, publishers.
Ooh.
I think specifically Square.
That would be huge.
How much is Square worth? I mean, it's not about can Sony afford Square?
Sony can't afford nobody, I don't think.
Well, here's the thing. That's why I said not now, but in the next coming year. Like now, their portfolio.
What the fuck game is gonna sell that much? To
If that's not that game. They're at going forward, we're pretty much near the point where the PlayStation 5 is going to be making Sony money. They won't be losing money on it. If most of their big games come out and sell as well as we expect them to do, that's just sheer profit plus all these other things that we're really not taking account of. And if Microsoft still keeps making aggressive moves like that, there's no way Sony can just afford to just sit around.
I know, Avery, but Sony makes a lot of money off software, not hardware. And if we were to look at the amount of units in market right now versus what could be at the end of the year, maybe 8 million at most at the end of the year, you're kind of user locked there. Like, how are they going to turn because like Square Enix is worth $4 billion. That means they're going to probably ask for 5. You know,
it looks like Sony's worth about 50-ish.
Yeah, that's 10% of their net worth.
But are we considering the amount of money that Sony's making off of Funimation and Crunchyroll?
Like,
shut the fuck up.
No. In all seriousness, like I didn't before Jonas shut me down, but I honestly think Sony's been making a lot of weird, interesting decisions from like a business standpoint. I think it's really interesting. Like they own now a part of Epic.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
and Evo.
They are a stakeholder in Epic. They are.
Yes, they're a stakeholder. Yeah,
minority share.
Yes, which is probably going to bring them revenue going forward on the rise of the next Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
I mean, if Sony's proven to be the direct developer of the Unreal Engine, I mean, like, is that money being pocketed by Epic?
Well,
like how Sony getting a part of that Unreal money?
I don't necessarily know. I think it's going to. This is just me showing my ass when it comes to business. I apologize, but ultimately, I think they're going to spend less money on building games with the Unreal Engine.
Right.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of software subscription services that are making money that we don't just talk about. that's making them money on top of what the traditional revenue is beyond just selling consoles they're going to make money on. If I'm just saying they're making a lot of deals with Square to the point where the next several Final Fantasy games are going to be PlayStation exclusives going forward, to the point where Square is even scared to even indicate when these games are going to show up on other platforms. And in an era where Microsoft is really cementing themselves as a Western RPG house, nothing would be more, at least for me, interesting if Sony were to say, okay, we're going to give you all the Western RPGs you can take. We're going to take all the Eastern RPGs.
Here's a thought. What if instead of Square Enix, they buy up Atlas from Sega?
That makes the most sense. My thing is, I don't think Atlas is literally the only thing really making Sega money outside of just the marketing of Sonic.
Whoa! What about Sonic? Sonic
they're making money off
they're making money off of the marketing IP of Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't think Sonic the Hedgehog games are what propelling Sega forward.
No, they're still partnered with Sammy, and they're still making money off of the pachinko games and all that shit, aren't they? Same as Konami.
Well,
that's their big money maker, not the video games anymore.
Sega's valued at $4 billion.
I think
$4 billion.
As much as I would,
with what money?
I think as much as I would want the Persona games to come home to PlayStation, I think there's more inherent value to Square Enix than there is to Sega right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, like Outriders.
It's my go, right? I'm next.
Sure,
all right,
you can go.
All right. My next prediction is we will see the long-awaited Skull and Bones game from Ubisoft.
Why? Just play fucking Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
No, we need a ship combat game because we don't have that at all in the entire gaming market, Jordan.
Right. No, you're right.
What about that? That
I said we don't have. We don't have it. We don't have it.
But you mean Sea of Thieves? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Gang.
As I said, we don't have it.
How often do you play Sea of Thieves, Jordan?
I don't play it at all. I never played it.
Okay,
I'm busy playing Forza Horizon. So
back to your very elusive. Oh wow, back to your thought, DJ.
Oh no, that's it. That's pretty much it. I don't got nothing else beyond that. Jordan, what's your next one?
Psychonauts 2 is going to have a launch trailer reveal, and it will be released on June 13th. It'll be
okay.
It'll be like the first thing to talk about because they just put Psychonauts 1 on Game Pass. I'm playing through that right now just to get myself oriented about the game and why it's so popular. And yeah,
there was a leak of it being put on the store and then taken down immediately.
It was a pretty big file size.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Sean, but to say something.
No, are we still doing 2 more?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just thought we haven't seen anything from Bayonetta in a while.
Don't
okay.
Started.
Yeah. Bayonetta 2 on Bayonetta 3 on Switch HD.
But wait. Yeah. Before we jump to that one, Jordan, do you feel confident about putting a month on that release?
On Psychonauts 2?
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be summer release. I mean, I'm just trying to like in terms of big money moves, in terms of Game Pass is where it's at right now. We're releasing brand new highly anticipated games on this son bitch. Okay. Psychonauts 2 day and date of the announcement. Like that's a big flex right there. Like that's
is it though?
Well, I agree with Sean. It's not, but any day and date announcement is a cool flex. But I don't think Psychonauts 2 is the game that like you drop your dick out on.
Well, I mean, it's a game that it's a highly coveted,
it's a niche game. It's a niche.
That's like Hell's Sacrifice or whatever the fuck that was. It's big, but
Hellblade.
I will say that it is niche. Like you're not wrong in that, but at the same time, Psychonauts 2 is a respected game that is. I mean, like being able to play it for free, including its original one. No subscription service is doing that right now. So.
I would probably say that it's big for Microsoft, and they will make it a big thing.
It's big for Microsoft in the space where the last big Microsoft game they released was The Medium.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I've yet to finish that game.
Oh, all right, Sean. What's your next one?
Bayonetta though. They need to release that. I bought the first one at least 2 or 3 times. Bought it on 360. Bought it on the Wii U, I think.
He's like,
Bought it on the Switch.
he's not even making predictions. He's just making demands.
Right?
Hey, you ever see that video where the guy slapping his credit card on the table? Seriously though, the last time we've heard something has been over.
We haven't heard anything.
A year and a half.
We haven't heard anything since the announcement.
Jesus.
And how long ago was that?
Like
That's gotta be
2 years ago.
almost 2 years.
Jesus.
I'd say it's about.
I think Reggie was still. They showed off at Game Awards. I think Reggie was still at Nintendo when they announced it.
Damn, he has his own podcast and everything now.
It was I think it's literally when they announced the Bayonetta 1 and 2 collection. Like, hey, we're also releasing Bayonetta 3.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I bought that twice, 3 times. I'm
Avery.
if they release a trilogy collection, I'm gonna buy it again.
Just to prove that you're serious.
My third prediction is we don't see Halo Infinite this year.
Oh.
On the 20th anniversary, they're gonna push it back again.
If it ain't ready,
I think that's possibly the craziest thing I've heard. Like this, like you're saying this fall, they're not going they're going to push it back again and not release it on the 20th anniversary of that game's release.
Here's my thing. I also think it's crazy. That being said, Microsoft cannot afford to miss with Halo.
Exactly.
They cannot afford to mess with Halo. And this, and in the beginning of this year and late last year, that game went through enough upheaval. And in a world where we're trying not to, we're
be a cyberpunk
in the post cyberpunk world. I think that if it comes fucking August and they're like, this game is not ready for prime, like, this game is going to give us 6 and 7s. Like they need 9s and 10s with that game.
Well, the last Halo got 9s and 10s. The last Halo had a Metacritic score of 84. So like it's not like Halo's going down. The question is, how can they exceed Halo 5? That's the main goal. And also
it's not necessarily that goal because they're doing something completely different to what Halo is.
Right?
They're making a quote unquote open world Halo game.
That's why they added the Coalition onto it. The Coalition is also providing support because that's what Gears 5 was quasi open world.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that based on everything I've heard about the development of that game and me being a Halo fan, and thinking of what Microsoft needs to do going forward with their Microsoft Studios, if they're not confident that this game is a 9 or 10, they should push it back.
Right. I mean, I think it's gonna be a 9 or 10 fight.
Is it still Halo if it's open world? Why not just call it Earth at this point? Call it Earth.
Well, that's the same question that people had for years.
Well, I was my conversation I had with DJ a while ago in that like I played every Halo. I've loved a lot of them. I think Halo 5 was the most disappointing Halo.
100%.
And that's because of that was because of the marketing of that game going into what the game actually was. And and so I want them to have a great Halo. I want to feel like Halo 1.
Yeah.
And that's what they're trying to do. But everything I see and hear about this game indicates that it's going to need more work. And
really,
based on everything Phil Spencer has talked about with what he wants Microsoft to be, I really feel like if they have to pull the trigger, they'll pull the trigger and push it. Like
I totally agree with that too. But that's why they already pushed it a whole year one time. You know, like there was a lot of game that was debuted last summer, but people were like, "Oh, look at Craig. Craig looks, terrible." But they just released some recent screenshots to it that look pretty great.
Yeah, and those are just screenshots. Like
I know. Yeah.
These predictions are going to be so interesting. Okay, so my last prediction, I'm kind of going back and forth because I got the one that I've been saying for years now because of this podcast, and it feels like I'm speaking into a void anytime I mention Armored Core. So I'm actually not going to say it.
They're making.
You already said it.
They're making Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I want to go last.
Okay, all right. So my last prediction is God of War will be shown with the release window of winter 2022.
I'd say spring, because spring's a pretty popular month for Sony.
I will make that your prediction, Jordan.
I agree with Jordan. I agree with Jordan for spring.
I make that your prediction, Avery. How about you, Sean? You agree with that one too?
I don't care, man. I'm gonna get a day one, whatever. Whenever it's ready. I'll be playing Apex Legends until then.
Hey, see you in the Outland, Sean.
Yeah, but that's my thing. I don't feel like it's coming this year. I think at this point, give that game all the time in the world because we want it to be good. Just how we were talking about Halo, how they push it a whole year.
Yeah.
Whenever I feel like they're going to show at least something this E3, but when it comes to release, I definitely don't think it's going to be anytime soon. So that's my prediction. Jordan?
The partnership between Microsoft and EA is clear, and Battlefield 6 will be released on Game Pass this fall. Day and date. That's my prediction.
Aren't all
That's
the
favorite phrase now?
Aren't all the EA what's their
EA Play?
Aren't all the EA Play games day and date digital anyway?
For Pro, but this would be like one of those games where they throw it on Play and give it to Microsoft. I mean, just for the.
I could see that happening, but it depends on what Call of Duty is doing.
Yeah, I
think Call of Duty is skipping this year, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pushing back.
If Call of Duty is skipping this year, then I don't think EA will. I don't think EA needs to do it.
Okay.
I think the Battlefield games are popular enough. They're not at Call of Duty levels, but they're popular enough that their fan base will play them if they're new. And with Call of Duty skipping a year, then the landscape for a big AAA shooter is vacant for them to play in.
Well, they're also talking about this Battlefield not having a story mode attached to it, which may give it like
don't
that.
do that.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Battlefield
1's story mode was so good.
That didn't work for Black Ops 3.
That's the thing. Like, has Battlefield ever really had a story mode since Bad Company or Battlefield 3?
4 did.
Did 4? Oh yeah, 4 had one also, but one and 5 were like flashpoints, like little.
Well, I will, because I love Battlefield 1 story mode a lot. In that it's 4 or 5 interesting vignettes of World War I. I don't think they did a good job for Battlefield 5 in regards to continuing that, but I do think I want more of that and less of what a traditional first-person shooter story like campaign is, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then Avery, what's your last thingamabobs?
This is for me. This is for me and for me alone. So I don't give a shit about anyone else's opinion. The final fighter for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will be Dante from Devil May Cry 5. Specifically, the Devil May Cry 5 Dante.
Okay.
I will die on this hill. If it doesn't happen, I will cry. If it's Doom guy or some
about to say Doom guy.
or fucking the Skyrim guy, I will fucking riot.
The Skyrim guy, he doesn't have a name. Oh my god.
The only thing I will accept other than Dante is Sora, but in my heart of hearts, I want it to be Dante.
Okay.
Because I want to put another sword fighter into this game and want people mauled.
Super Smash Sword Fighter.
DJ, can I say one last thing?
Oh wait. Let Sean do his last.
Oh my bad.
Yeah. Sean, go ahead. What's your last one?
See, I wanted to be last, so this would be the last thing that everybody hears. They can
wait. Okay, Jordan, say one thing and then.
No, I was gonna say no Fable, no Perfect Dark.
Ooh.
That's something I was saying.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be a thing.
I think who's doing Perfect Dark is the
initiative.
The initiative. I think that studio is way too green to put out a quadruple A game this year. We might see.
What about
we're
trailer?
not gonna see any information on it. What I'm trying to say. Not about
at
least it's like fucking 2023 or some shit.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
All right.
Okay, so everybody gather around, get in close. I want this to be the last thing you think about today before you go to bed. When you wake up, are you listening?
Yeah.
We're gonna see a remake of Parasite Eve.
What are you, Greg Miller, busting out of your
You're crazy. You're insane. You're not fun either. Like, don't get people
if Sony, I'm just saying,
I love that energy, Sean. Keep it up.
That energy is fire. I'm just saying, if Sony buys Square Enix, that seems more plausible of a thing that could happen.
If Sony robs Fort Knox and buys Square Enix in that order, then sure.
In that order, though.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Oh my gosh.
Sony needs to get into the iOS game, into the military contract game.
Yeah.
They get that real money.
So that is it for what? There's what? Armor Core will finally be shown, and everyone will be shocked by how impressive the girth of customization each will have. Oh my gosh. Who said that? That's so weird. Oh, I guess that's the prediction now, huh?
I will show my screen.
Sony will be joining the coalition of the willing. They're going to be sending PlayStations. Africa Bambata and the Zulu Nation is going to be joining.
Riggedy Rouse is coming.
Outcast is going to be dropping bombs over back there.
Well, that has been another episode of Press X Start Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoy making it. Don't forget to rate and review us on your favorite podcasting apps because every little bit counts. Also, don't forget to donate at pressx2start.com/Palestine because, again, every little bit counts. And, again, don't forget, because there's a lot of stuff you shouldn't forget, don't forget that this video is also a video and podcast. Yes, I said video twice. I don't care. Sue me. Don't sue me. Please don't. With that being said, oh yeah, don't forget to go to our website at pressx2start.com in case you miss anything. You can find all details and more there. With that being said, we are finally done with our E3 predictions podcast super show.
You sound like one of them Plim Plam man at the end of commercials.
I try my best. Peace and take care and wash your hands.